Welcome. You're here to compete in Mortal Kombat.
The 1995 Mortal Kombat film defied all expectations, grossing $122 million when video game movies were box office poison. But behind the iconic fight scenes and techno soundtrack lies a production filled with million-dollar puppets, life-threatening injuries, and revolutionary techniques that changed Hollywood action films forever. From impromptu outhouse construction in Thai jungles to a director who'd never touched visual effects, this beloved adaptation harbors secrets even die-hard fans don't know. Let's dive into the shocking realities behind gaming's greatest movie triumph. The four-armed Shokan Prince wasn't computer-generated. He was a practical animatronic marvel created by Amalgamated Dynamics Inc. that consumed over $1 million of the film's modest budget. Tom Woodruff Jr. wore the torso on his shoulders while his head remained concealed inside Goro's chest. His arms became Goro's lower limbs, while mechanically articulated upper arms sat above. The creature required elaborate foam rubber skin and fully articulated facial features controlled off-screen. Peter Jackson himself praised it as a seminal achievement in animatronics. But this technical wonder came with a devastating cost that nearly destroyed production. Wait until you hear how many people it took to make him move. Operating Goro required a small army. 16 puppeteers worked simultaneously to animate the character, controlling everything from facial expressions to arm movements. The rig broke down constantly, halting production repeatedly and driving the crew to frustration. Despite costing over $1 million, the animatronic proved incredibly temperamental in Thailand's humid conditions. Kevin Michael Richardson provided Goro's dialogue while Frank Welker delivered the guttural vocalizations. The technical limitations forced clever camera work to hide the rig's stiffness. Speaking of technical challenges, the director faced an even bigger problem. He'd never done this before. Director Paul W.S. Anderson had never worked with visual effects before Mortal Kombat. His hiring came purely from the strength of his debut film, Shopping. Knowing he lacked credentials, Anderson visited Samuel French's bookstore and bought every visual effects manual available. He studied CGI techniques, matte paintings, and compositing until he could convincingly discuss the technology. During meetings, he dropped technical jargon so effectively that executives believed he was an expert. Anderson essentially bluffed his way into directing a major action film with complex effects requirements. His inexperience showed during early fight choreography when he repeatedly filmed entire sequences in single wide takes, exhausting the stunt performers. Robin Chu finally asked, "You do know what coverage is, don't you?" But Anderson's biggest learning curve involved convincing studios about one controversial decision. Producers Lawrence Kasanoff and his team envisioned an electronic dance music soundtrack, but Sony and Virgin Records adamantly refused. The labels insisted on mainstream rock artists like Van Halen and Janet Jackson, believing EDM had no commercial appeal. Every major company turned down the project, considering techno music box office suicide. Desperate, the producers approached TVT Records, a small independent label willing to take the risk. The gamble paid off spectacularly. The Mortal Kombat soundtrack became the first platinum-selling EDM album in history. It revolutionized film soundtracks and proved electronic music could dominate mainstream markets. The album's success directly influenced The Matrix, the Chemical Brothers film work, and an entire generation of action movie scores. One actress almost didn't benefit from this success after a dangerous on-set decision. Bridget Wilson, playing Sonya Blade, performed every single fight scene and stunt herself, refusing any double. Director Paul Anderson jokingly nicknamed her Robo-Babe during production for her relentless physical commitment. During one particularly intense sequence, Wilson dislocated her shoulder but insisted the crew fix it on set without stopping production. She trained extensively in martial arts specifically for the role, executing complex choreography alongside professional fighters. Wilson's dedication meant every punch, kick, and acrobatic move audiences see is genuinely her. The actress pushed through pain and exhaustion to maintain authenticity in Sonya's combat sequences. Her commitment inspired the entire cast to elevate their physical performances. But Wilson wasn't alone in suffering serious injuries. The film's stunt work came with severe consequences. The spectacular Liu Kang vs. Reptile battle came at a brutal price. Robin Shou, already an experienced Hong Kong stuntman, shattered 3 ribs during the sequence's acrobatic wirework. He continued filming through excruciating pain, completing the entire fight despite the injury. Shou's experience in Hong Kong cinema meant he understood the importance of pushing through for the perfect shot. Patty Johnson, the fight coordinator from Enter the Dragon and The Karate Kid, gave Shou creative freedom due to his background. Shou introduced wirework to the production, making Mortal Kombat one of Hollywood's first films to incorporate the technique. His innovation influenced The Matrix and countless subsequent action films. During Johnny Cage's battle with Scorpion, Lyndon Ashby suffered a severe kidney injury that caused him to urinate blood for several days. Scorpion's stunt double violently collided with a steel bar in the same sequence, though stunt performer injuries rarely received media coverage. Despite the film's intense martial arts choreography and actors performing most stunts themselves, these were remarkably the only major reported injuries during principal photography. Ashby trained specifically in karate, taekwondo, and kung fu for months before filming. The dedication nearly cost him serious organ damage, yet he continued working through the medical crisis. His commitment to authenticity made Johnny Cage's fights viscerally real. The scene contained one unexpected element that became franchise legend, a completely improvised line that redefined the character forever. When Johnny Cage snarls, "Those were $500 sunglasses, asshole." After Goro crushes his eyewear, it wasn't scripted. Lyndon Ashby improvised the entire line. The ad-lib perfectly captured Cage's vain Hollywood personality and became the character's defining moment. The line proved so popular that subsequent Mortal Kombat games incorporated it directly into character dialogue. In Mortal Kombat X, when Cage confronts Goro, he references the sunglasses' debt. Mortal Kombat 11 featured Shiva remembering the incident, saying, "I recall Goro crushing your eyewear." The improvisation demonstrated how actors' creative instincts sometimes surpass written material. One actor took creative freedom to an entirely different level during his audition, guaranteeing his casting instantly. Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa arrived at his Shang Tsung audition fully costumed in character and delivered every line while standing atop a chair. The unconventional choice was deliberate. Tagawa wanted to physically embody the sorcerer's imposing superiority and theatrical menace. Casting directors were immediately mesmerized by his committed, eccentric performance. He secured the role on the spot without competition, becoming the fastest casting decision of the entire production. Tagawa's approach established Shang Tsung's memorable personality, a hammy villain who never crosses into cartoonish territory. His performance balanced camp and genuine menace perfectly, making him the film's most quotable character. Christopher Lambert and Tagawa's chemistry as Raiden and Shang Tsung elevated every scene they shared. Speaking of Lambert, his generosity behind the scenes created an unforgettable production atmosphere that extended beyond filming. Christopher Lambert had such an extraordinary time filming Mortal Kombat that he routinely paid for cast and crew dinners at expensive restaurants throughout production. When principal photography concluded, Lambert personally funded the entire wrap party, refusing to let production accountants handle it. The French actor's generosity created incredible morale during the grueling Thailand shoot. Lambert, an avid gamer in real life, genuinely loved the source material and being part of gaming culture. His enthusiasm proved infectious, elevating everyone's performance and dedication. 26 years later, Lambert reprised Raiden as a DLC costume in Mortal Kombat 11, coming full circle. His Raiden remains the definitive portrayal of the Thunder God for an entire generation. Meanwhile, another cast member made history by bringing authentic video game sounds directly to the film. Mortal Kombat co-creator Ed Boon didn't just design Scorpion, he performed all the characters' dialogue in the film, including the legendary "Get Over Here." Boon voiced Scorpion throughout the game franchise, making his film participation seamless continuity. You can also hear him whispering "Reptile" when the creature transforms from monster to ninja during Liu Kang's fight. Having the actual game creator voice characters added authenticity that fans immediately recognized and appreciated. Chris Casamassa portrayed Scorpion physically, while Boon provided the threatening vocal presence. This collaboration between stunt performer and creator produced one of cinema's most memorable villain performances. Hidden within Scorpion's scenes lies an Easter egg only the most obsessive fans discovered in 1995. During Liu Kang's fight with Reptile, circular symbols briefly appear on the walls in the background. These aren't random set decorations, they're an actual cheat code for Mortal Kombat 3, which released simultaneously with the film. The symbols, displayed in specific order, unlocked special effects when entered into the arcade game. Filmmakers added this Easter egg specifically for hardcore fans who would pause VHS tapes searching for hidden details. This represented unprecedented cross-media marketing, rewarding attentive viewers with actual gameplay advantages. The code became legendary among fan communities, passed between players through word of mouth and early internet forums. It exemplified how the production respected its gaming audience rather than talking down to them. In the original Mortal Kombat game, Kano was a bald, Japanese-American gangster. Trevor Goddard transformed him into a larger-than-life Australian criminal with swaggering personality and distinctive facial hair. Goddard's interpretation proved so popular that Midway Games permanently redesigned Kano to match the film version. Every subsequent game portrayed Kano as Australian with Goddard's beard and chest hair, abandoning the original design entirely. Goddard essentially created Kano's modern personality, crude, violent, obsessed with Sonya, and darkly comedic. His performance became the definitive interpretation, overwriting the game developer's original vision. One actor nearly played a completely different role before tragedy struck. Actor and stunt performer Steve James was reportedly cast as Jax, originally conceived as a much larger role in the film. Tragically, James died from pancreatic cancer 9 months before filming began. Michael Jai White was subsequently chosen to replace him but dropped out to star in the biopic Tyson instead. Gregory McKinney ultimately played Jax in the reduced role that remained. White would later portray Jax in the acclaimed web series Mortal Kombat. James's death forced significant script rewrites, diminishing Jax's presence in the story. The role that could have been a breakout performance became a brief appearance instead. The production faced numerous location challenges that made casting troubles seem minor by comparison, especially regarding basic human necessities in remote Thailand. Filming locations in Thailand were so remote they could only be reached by long canoe-style boats. Every cast member, crew person, and piece of equipment required water transportation across significant distances. Location manager Gerrit Folsom identified an immediate crisis. No bathroom facilities existed near the isolated sets. Constant trips back to mainland facilities would waste hours of precious shooting time daily. Folsom's solution: construct an outhouse in a secluded area near the set, allowing quick access during filming. This makeshift facility became essential infrastructure for the entire Thailand production. Shooting locations included the ancient Wat Phra Si Sanphet, Wat Chai Watanaram, and Wat Ratchaburana temples, stunning but wildly impractical for modern film production. Robin Shou introduced wirework techniques from Hong Kong cinema to Mortal Kombat, making it among Hollywood's first major films incorporating the technology. American action films traditionally avoided wire-assisted stunts, considering them unrealistic or too difficult. Shou's experience as a Hong Kong stuntman gave him expertise that fight coordinator Pat E. Johnson immediately recognized and embraced. The film's successful wirework directly influenced The Matrix, which popularized the technique 3 years later. Suddenly, every action film wanted gravity-defying martial arts enabled by wire rigging. Mortal Kombat quietly pioneered what became standard practice throughout modern action cinema. Shou received credit as fight choreographer additional sequences for his innovative contributions. Test audiences initially didn't appreciate these innovations, forcing producers to make one desperate last-minute addition. Liu Kang's spectacular battle with Reptile wasn't originally in the film. Early test audiences complained the movie lacked sufficient fight sequences, disappointing fans expecting constant action. Producers scrambled to add another major fight, choosing Reptile because the character was popular and visually distinctive. This decision perfectly illustrates how test screening feedback can dramatically improve films when producers listen. The Reptile edition required bringing back Robin Shou despite his broken ribs, making the fight's excellence even more remarkable. The iconic Mortal Kombat theme song is often mistakenly believed to have been composed specifically for the 1995 film. Techno Syndrome by the Immortals actually appeared on Mortal Kombat the album, a compilation promoting the video game series released a full year before the movie. The track was already popular among game fans when filmmakers licensed it for the opening credits. Its association with the film became so strong that most people assume the reverse chronology. The music's success vindicated the producer's controversial EDM vision that record labels initially rejected. Behind the scenes, one actor's inexperience created embarrassing moments that became valuable learning experiences. Director Paul Anderson's inexperience showed dramatically during initial fight choreography. He shot Robin Shou's first major fight scene entirely as one continuous wide master shot, repeating it multiple times to eliminate minor mistakes. The actors became progressively exhausted, performing full-intensity combat repeatedly, while Anderson captured unnecessary wide footage. Anderson admitted his ignorance about proper fight scene cinematography. In martial arts films, wide shots appear briefly while tight coverage captures impacts and makes fights feel visceral. Anderson learned on the job, supported by patient collaborators who understood his enthusiasm despite technical deficiencies. The production became Anderson's film school, teaching him techniques he'd later employ on the Resident Evil franchise. Even production's failures created unexpected entertainment value. The opening scene features a director yelling at Johnny Cage on a movie set, played by Sandy Helberg. This small role was originally intended as a cameo for Steven Spielberg himself. Scheduling conflicts prevented Spielberg from participating, requiring last-minute replacement casting. Having Spielberg mock Johnny Cage's legitimacy would have added meta-commentary from cinema's most successful director appearing in a video game adaptation. His absence didn't prevent the film from succeeding beyond all expectations, proving video game adaptations could work when respecting source material and prioritizing practical action over complicated plots. Mortal Kombat's legacy extends far beyond its $122 million box office. It revolutionized video game adaptations, legitimized EDM soundtracks, and introduced wirework to American action cinema. These 20 secrets reveal how passion, innovation, and occasional reckless commitment forged an unlikely masterpiece. Golden Frame has countless more deep dives into cinema's hidden stories. Keep exploring with us. There's always another incredible tale waiting behind your favorite films.